Eureka Conservative, Charlie Kirk Bible Read, and Bob Rant. I'm actually getting that better each day. Um, Welcome to another edition coming to you from my downstairs office still because, believe it or not, for those who followed me the last couple of days, my website and system backup is still going after 2 days. So 2 days ago, I tried to do a live stream from upstairs and I mucked it up. So I just can't. I'm so deep into this backup, I can't ruin it right now. So sorry while I get my live stream going on the. I'm just double checking because on Sunday, I spoke to myself for 90 minutes. Second time I've done that, so I'm making sure that I'm. Yeah, I am good. Live stream going on the. I'm just double checking because on Sunday. As you can hear me. So sorry about that. Here we go. I spoke to myself for 90 minutes. Second time I've done that, so I'm making sure that I'm. Yeah, that's not working. That's good. I'll get on to the other part. So again, welcome to the live stream. My partner is in crime. JJ is down at my feet. So I can't get the laptop to show you him at the moment. Whenever I get on the phone or on the laptop, he goes a bit nuts. He gets down at my feet or somewhere I can't get him. So he's an adorable mutt. But anyway, so I can't give you a view of the bay, sadly. Today's a beautiful day. Sorry, my dumb dog. A beautiful day in Melbourne. I've just got back from mowing some lawns, which I do for a little bit of work and income just to help pay the rent. So I thought I'd get this one done in today so I don't get behind on these Bible reads because some of these get enforced. So today, happily, you only get one and then I'll get my rant. Matthew 16, 21 through 28. Back to the New Testament. Glory through suffering. For the third time in Matthew's gospel, Jesus speaks about his suffering, death, and resurrection. He even calls Peter Satan for trying to stop him. That's interesting. From that time on, Jesus began to say plainly to his disciples, I must go to Jerusalem, and suffer much from the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law. I will be put to death, but 3 days later I will be raised to life. Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. God forbid it, Lord, he said. That must never happen to you. Jesus turned around and said to Peter, Get away from me, Satan. You are an obstacle in my way, because these thoughts of yours don't come from God, but from man. Then Jesus said to his disciples, If anyone wants to come with me, he must forget self, carry his cross, and follow me. For whoever wants to save his own life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Will a person gain anything if he wins the whole world but loses his life? Of course not. There is nothing he can give to regain his life. For the Son of Man is about to come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he will reward each one according to his deeds. I wish I could send that part to my brother. I've got to say that again. For the Son of Man is about to come in the glory of his Father with his angels, and then he will reward each one according to his deeds. I'll come back to that in a minute. I assure you that there are some here who will not die until they have seen the Son of Man come as King. That sentence I read out twice. If you followed me again the last week or two, I've been banging on a bit about how I keep getting in these arguments between Protestants and Catholics. I've found out a lot more about, especially the more extreme Protestants, than I would like. But the big debate going on about between Protestantism and Catholicism is, you have to accept the Bible as black and white, whereas the Catholic Church teaches, yes, the Bible's important, but so are the deeds in your life. Well, I just said it there. For the Son of Man is about to come in glory of his Father with his angels, and then he will reward each one according to his deeds. I can't wait to bring that up with some of the people I've been debating with. because they argue the deeds have got nothing to do with it. It's all about accepting the Bible. Well, there it is in the Bible. So, and that's the problem with the Protestantism. If you go black and white by the Bible, there's so many contradictions to what you're doing. So, and it just confirms what I've always believed anyway, myself, is that Christianity is as much about how you live your life as about that sort of thing. You know, I think we can all, once you've been raised with the Christian faith, you all sort of understand what's required of you to be a Christian. Now, could we be better Christians? Absolutely. I definitely could. But you can't just read the Bible and think I'm going to heaven. It's how you treat people, all that sort of thing in your life, what you do with your life. I think they're all very important things. Oh, excuse me, I got hiccups. After mowing the lawn, I came back in for lunch. Now for the rant. There's a couple of things to rant about. I won't go into as much detail as I did the other day. First up, watch Chris Bowen in Parliament. I'm going to play you a clip of his in a minute. Is there a man more unfit to be in a government than Chris Bowen? His policies reek of corruption, misinformation, and lies. He cherry picks facts to try and justify those policies. He makes life harder for every single Australian. He's actually sending businesses out of business with those renewable energy policies because they're making energy so much harder. And if you're a business person, for example, it's not just Chris Bowen here. Jacinta Allen is going to bring into law the right to work from home. So look, I'm a small business owner. At the moment, I employ myself. But if I employ anybody else, they're going to have a legislated right to work 2 days a week from home. Well, I don't see how that works in my business. So I need them there with me at my place of work, once we're up and going. You know, I'm going to need people who can answer phones, customer service. I mean, not over the phone, on the spot, and deal with inquiries and people coming through a venue. So, you know, it's just going to make it so much harder for small business owners to employ people without going, you know, bankrupt. So Labor just make it harder and harder. But Chris Bowen, he's such an imbecile, and he's an arrogant imbecile too. I don't know that there's a few in the ALP ranks that really infuriate me. Tony Burke, for example, Elbow himself. But Chris Bowen, God, I reckon he takes the prize for the most infuriating to get under my skin. That man's a first-rate, arrogant imbecile. So let's have a look at him in action. Let's see. I saw him today in Parliament, and then I just saw this on the X feed, which I'm going to do a bit of the X feed because I haven't today, and I have not seen my X feed. So it'll be a great way. Oh, where am I up to? Home. I'm broadcasting myself. What a stupid thing to do. Where is he? I think this is our man.
I agree with the NRMA. NRMA's said there's no case for panic buying, urged people only when they need it, and I agree with that. There is no need to rush to the service station. I do understand people's concerns, but it's important that people know we do have a good stock of in Australia. There is no immediate threat to petrol supplies in Australia. There will be challenges in this difficult environment in the Middle East. The Straits of Hormuz is a very important supply chain for the world, not just for Australia, for the world, including to Singapore and Southeast Asia, where we get most of our petrol. So there are real challenges, but there is no need for panic buying. That will just make the situation worse.
Really?
That's panic buying because of don't panic buy because we're not going to run out, not because the prices are going to go up.
The prices, you know, the biggest impact on petrol prices in Australia will always be oil prices, and oil price will come into pressure. But for those Australians who are concerned about our supply of oil and petrol, I'm pleased to say that we are in good shape.
That's not what a lot of the experts are saying, but anyway, let's see. I just want to go through into my bookmarks. There's something here that's the biggest target of my rant today. In yesterday's rant, I hope I get it because I didn't have it in yesterday's rant. I better have saved it here. If I haven't done, here we go. Beautiful. Reseda, legend Reseda. Mosque and Islamic community centres in Sydney and Melbourne are openly inviting members to honour the martyrdom of Iran's dead leader, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, despite the Australian government's hardline stance against the regime. At least 4 Shiite institutions have published obituaries and public memorials for the supreme leader since Iranian state media confirmed his death on Sunday, following a wave of joint airstrike operations by the US and Israel. Members of the Iranian-Australian diaspora said the events were threatening to the community and should be a warning to all Australians that people who sympathise and support the regime remain active across the country. Unbelievable. We have, without doubt, we have a fifth column, and this is the argument I was making the other day. We have a fifth column in this country made up, and it was interesting. I was watching a tweet today, so it goes back to, probably Hanson's good Muslims, bad Muslims, whatever you've got. But it was an interesting comparison between Shiite Muslims and Shia Muslims. So the Shiites are the extreme part of the Islamic community who have these extreme attitudes in regards to Sharia law, attacking the infidels, if you want to call it us, the non-Muslims, all that sort of thing. Where the Shia Muslims are mainly those Gulf states like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, all those ones. All they want to do is make a dollar, and they're quite happy to get on with everyone, and they're nowhere near as extreme as the Shiites. So it is interesting to see, like what I was saying with Protestants and Catholics. You have these different strands of the different faiths. But until you get, and maybe this is going to be one of the good things that comes out with Trump's intervention in Iran, it might give those more moderate Muslims the voice to speak up if the Iranian regime does indeed get toppled. And maybe then we'll get to a little bit of peace. It's interesting listening to all these so-called experts. You had Andrew Clennell on Sky News before with an expert from thing. They're all banging on about how Trump promised no more wars. That's not quite what he promised. He promised no more forever wars. And I think he's kept that promise so far. And he wanted to be the peace president. Well, you can't have peace without being strong. They've tried that now for 47 years. Unlike some of my younger followers, I was a teenager in 1979 when the Shah of Iran got disposed and these lunatics took control. And they were lunatics from day one. We've had weak president after weak president and prime ministers, just weak Western leaders that have left these bastards run roughshod over so many countries and so many people. Pity, everyone's dancing up and down about Israel and Gaza. Just realise what the terrorist groups, and it's interesting, I'll give you an example of this in a minute, what the terrorist arms of Iran have done to countries in the Middle East like Syria and Lebanon, and even Jordan. There's a reason that when Israel went into Gaza, that all those countries closed their border to Palestinian refugees. They're smarter than our politicians. They would never take an ISIS bride. Our ones willingly do. So the interesting development was with in Lebanon, where Hezbollah is pretty much headquartered. The Lebanon Prime Minister has come up and said, well, Hezbollah doesn't stand for Lebanon, and we're quite happy for Israel to disarm them. So they're bombing the shit out of them at the moment. So moderate voices are now standing up because the Iranian regime has been, the hardcore regime, it's dead. It's not been toppled, it's been wiped out. So what comes next is probably the interesting thing. And listen, no one really knows. Trump wouldn't know. Nobody really knows. They're hoping that the more moderates types get up and take over the government in Iran, and I think we should all be praying for that, because then, it would become a much more peaceful part of the globe, and a lot of the wars that we've been having since the radical Islamists took over in Iran would dissipate. That means disappear. So it is interesting listening to Laura Jays this morning. Oh, my God. I've got Sky News instead of ABC, but I'm wondering if there's much difference during the day. But Laura Jays, I mean, she tries to sound educated when she obviously isn't. And she tries to make her out to be an expert on all these affairs. And she comes off sounding so ridiculously stupid. I mean, talk about a DEI appointment. That girl. And look, Sky News, seriously, I mean, how can you be a serious organisation, a news organisation, when you've got people like Laura Jays, Kieran Gilbert, Andrew Clennell, Sharry Markson, who's the other one? Tom Connell. They're all just dickheads. I'm sorry. And they're all anti-Trump, and they bring on their anti-Trump guest. It's just like watching the ABC again. It'd be nice to get a true conservative channel. Now, After Dark is a bit better. But even then, like Sharry Markson After Dark, I mean, Sharry Markson goes too hard the other way, where she's too much pro-Israel. I mean, I just want a balanced. Is it too much to ask from a news channel to get a balanced opinion where you're not too far left and you're not too far right and you just report on world events and we can get some legitimate news and legitimate reporting? And I'm a conservative. I don't want it all to be rah-rah one way. Kieran Gilbert, he's another one that's Laura Jays, Sharry Markson is at least Jewish. Kieran Gilbert's not Jewish, and he's so pro-Palestine and pro-Jewish. It's crazy. I'm pro-Jewish. I've got plenty of Jewish friends. But when you're in the news media, you've got to be, so I thought, independent. But Gilbert is so over the top with his Jewish slant. It's crazy. It's just nuts. So, but this shit, where these mosques are celebrating the life and death of the Ayatollah, this is a listed terrorist organization. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard is a listed terrorist organization. This is their terrorist leader. He is responsible. On Thursday night, I'm collecting and sharing stories of victims of this bastard's rule. We've got all the influencers on the woke right, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly. They're all coming out, and instead of getting behind their military and their president, they're trying to tear it down. Candace Owens, all of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene. If you don't know your American politics, these people are so sad. They actually make Australian politicians look half reasonable. At least the Aussie politicians on the whole have gotten behind, unless they're a Green, what Trump's doing. And there's some really interesting observations from certain people. So I'm going to try and give a different perspective on Thursday. I'll share with you, I've got a guest coming on Thursday, which I'm excited to announce. Let me get back on the screen so you can see. Now, this gentleman, he's been just communicating with me over it, so I've got to know him all right. So I said, well, why don't you come on? And so we've invited him on, and I'm happy to say he's coming on board. I think he's got an interesting story. I'm going to ask him to put in a bit of a resume tonight. Where the hell am I? What am I doing? This post. Oh, God. I'm on X. What am I doing? Oh, my God. I'm not having a great week here with my IT stuff, I've got to say. Here we go, chat. So I'm getting this gentleman, when I can get him up. He is Dr. Rami. I'll give you a look at his profile. Australian filmmaker, Assyrian documentarian. As he says here, he grew up in Iraq and Syria, 97% and 87% Muslim majority. In my entire life there, I've never seen a block roll down a carpet in the street and start praying. It's prayer time. So what he's talking about is, in Thailand where all these mass prayers happen. So he's a Christian. He grew up in Iraq. He knows the background of the Middle East. So I've invited him on to come on and have a chat on Thursday night, considering everything that's going on over there. So I think it'll be a really interesting conversation. And, across X, he's a decent guy. So we'll see what he's got to say. He's got a very interesting history. He's a Christian. He's not a thing. So as you can see here, and I don't know what that's a picture of. Looks like Roman times. Maybe it's some very famous people meeting somewhere. I think he's an Orthodox Christian. Remember the priest, the Orthodox priest who got stabbed in Sydney, I think in the eye. Or the bishop, I can't remember. I think he works with him. So Dr. Rami should be a really, really interesting interview. So we're going to be talking a lot about Iran this Thursday in my more formal podcast. So just gave it a plug there. Hold on. So yeah, an image from an online video going on in the background. Like I said, I'm not having a good time. I'll stop sharing that now. So yeah, we're going to have a good time, I think, on Thursday, talking about all these things happening across the globe in Iran and in the Middle East. And like I said, we're going to give you some stories and backgrounds about it. We're going to bring on Dr. Rami to talk about it. Hopefully we'll get some feedback on our chat. It should be a really good episode this Thursday night at 8 p.m. So, yeah, that's about it for my rant. I just wanted to get on. I got my Bible read. I just want to get behind. Wednesdays, I struggle a little bit because of work commitments. So if I didn't get today in, you'd be getting 3 passages from the Bible on Thursday. So I try and get each day's Bible read in. So if I miss a few days, I'll catch up on it, just so you know. So not a lot else to rant about. There's the normal sort of nutters, but I'll come back tomorrow with a better rant. All right. But I'm giving Thursday night a real big plug. Get on board. That's going to be a bit of fun. Thursday night, 8 o'clock, Dr. Rami and me. And if there's anybody else wants to come on and talk, global things, let me know. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. From me, where is he? JJ, come on. Got to get you a look at JJ. Here he is. Down on my feet. As usual. Say hello. No, he's not in a happy mood. I've been out all day. So if you ever had a German Shepherd and you leave them for any length of time and you come home, they get pissed off at you. They've got to have you right within arm's length or paw length for them, or they get really shitty. So he's in a better mood than what he was before when I got home. So, he doesn't like it. Doesn't like it at all. Anyway, God bless you. God bless your kids. God bless your pets. God bless this country. God bless Donald Trump. God bless all those servicemen, whether they're Israeli or American, that are fighting for, I think, the independence and liberty of the Iranian people, along with a bunch of other things. But they're fighting to make the world a better and more peaceful place. I think we should all be getting behind that personally. I don't believe this is the Iraq war all over again, despite what the woke right influencers are trying to make you believe. And one last rant. If you are a person, seriously by now, who is a big Tucker Carlson fan, Candace Owen fan, Alex Jones fan, all these conspiracy theories, please, I understand about conspiracy theories. I have regrets on certain things, but these people are so wrong on so many things. I mean, how many more times do they have to be caught out in a lie for you to wake up and go, yeah, no, they're full of shit? Because they are. They're just full of shit. If you're following a Megyn Kelly or that light, just have a rethink about it is all I would say. Anyway, see you tomorrow, guys. Bye.